Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spock Financial with another installment of Old and Busted versus New Hotness. So today we're looking at a couple figures. They're not exactly the newer of the two is not exactly new. It's been out since January, and while they're in the same point cost range, they're not the same point cost. So anyway, I am speaking obviously of Cyclops from X-Men the Animated Series, Dark Phoenix Saga, and X-Men House of X. So let's start off by looking at the one from Dark Phoenix Saga. First and foremost, he is wearing, the greatest Cyclops costume Cyclops has ever had. I will die on that hill. Thank you very much. So, Cyclops comes in at 70 points. He has the X-Men team ability as well as the X-Men keyword. He has a trait, Gene. Unique modifier. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose a combat value. If Cyclops is adjacent to a friendly character named Jean Grey, modify the chosen combat value by +1. Okay, alright. Now looking at his dial, we get a couple of special speed power optic beams, which grants running shot and force blast. We then get a couple of clicks of regular force blast, followed by a couple of clicks of sidestep. On attack, we open up with a couple clicks of penetrating psychic blast, followed by a couple clicks of precision strike. On defense, we open up with 4 clicks of willpower. Now, when this figure was released, willpower simply made it so he didn't have to take pushing damage. Now, pushing damage isn't a thing, and it's in fact self-leadership. Willpower is now self-leadership. So he has the chance to remove a token from himself every turn, if he has a token on him, obviously. We then get a couple clicks of toughness. On damage, we open up the special power Commanding Leader, which grants leadership. When Cyclops uses it and succeeds, after resolutions, choose another friendly character that shares a keyword and has 0 action tokens. This turn, that character has free, have speed, then move. That can actually be very useful. Now, note that it's a move action, so you have to be very careful with who you're using with it. That said, what you could do is basically give someone the equivalent of a full move charge or running shot. One thing I did rather nice one fun thing I did with it was using it in conjunction with the figure Frenzy. She has a special power, if I remember correctly, which allows her to use, when she uses leap climb, if she moves half her speed value or less, she can then use close combat expert at no cost. So once upon a time, I did actually have Cyclops remove a token from her. She then moved, using leap climb, moved half her speed value, right, close combat expert, and then did that again as a normal action. Anyways, moving on to Cyclops from House of X. The House of X costume isn't bad. Of course, the sculpt is in the new sculpt scale, so it's slightly bigger. Cyclops comes in at 75 points instead of 70. He has the X-Men team abilities as well as the Starjammers, X-Factor, and X-Men keywords. He also has improved movement, may make range attacks out of adjacency, including against adjacent opposing characters. Much like the Dark Phoenix Saga version, he also has a trait that's dependent upon another friendly character. This one being sibling rivalry. Leadership. Once per turn, when a friendly character named Havoc hits, modify Cyclops' combat values by +1 this turn. Okay, alright. Looking at his dial, The first half of speed is a specialist power. You will forget who you are for a minute, which grants Force Blast and Sidestep. When Cyclops hits with a range attack, after resolutions, all hit targets can use Battle Fury until your next turn. Okay. That then gives way to a few clicks of running shot. Next up, we've got on attack, we've got a few clicks of Energy Explosion, followed by a few clicks of Penetrating Second Blast. On defense, we've got a few clicks of Toughness, followed by Inertial Deflection. And on damage, we open up with some Ranged Combat Expert. Okay, alright. So, comparing the two dials, it's really where it comes down to. The Jean trait is a bit restrictive, as it has to be a character named Jean Grey. You can't have for example, you couldn't use Marvel Girl from House of X with him, because while her real name is Jean Grey, the figure name is Marvel Girl. So yeah, let's compare the two dials though. And +1 to all combat values is nice, especially seeing that you can no longer use Perplex on damage. Alright, so to me, this is actually one of the really hard ones because they're both really good for their points. The Dark Phoenix Saga one does have a few drawbacks, like that 9 attack, those few clicks of 9 attack. Now, on the last click where he's got Ranged Combat Expert, that 9 is basically a 10 if he's not based. That late dial toughness is nice. Now, the combination of leadership and willpower is very nice on the Dark Phoenix Saga one, and it does allow him to potentially remove a token from himself and an ally. So yeah. Also, I do like the opening Penetrating Psychic Blast. I appreciate the fact that the House of X one, which was made before Range Combat Expert, was a passive power. Does not overlap Running Shot with Range Combat Expert. However, it's the kind of thing where a new version I could see having the two overlap. There's some decent synergy, and this is actually really hard because they're both good. Like, traded leadership is nice, but after a while you're not really going to need the leadership so much. That said, Cyclops' Leadership Plus is a bit more... It's not just leadership. Whereas House of X Cyclops is just leadership and then something additional that has nothing to do with leadership. The Dark Phoenix Saga one, his leadership is leadership plus something extra that relies on leadership. So I think, and this is barely, just barely, in light of being 5 points cheaper and the leadership power, and also, and to be fair, the combination of opening Running Shot and Penetrating Psychic Blast, I am going to go ahead and give the win to Dark Phoenix Saga Cyclops. However, as stated, the one from House of X is also very good. This is probably one of the harder ones I've had to deal with because a lot of the times you'll have something really easy, like the last time we did this segment with Bombshell Wonder Woman. That Bombshell's trade on the old one actually does a lot of heavy lifting. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna go with I'm going with the Dark Phoenix Saga Cyclops being the superior of the two, but it's extremely close. The combat values kind of drag him down a bit, but yeah, it's just there's so much. And especially now that you can't, like, before the new rules came out, I probably would have given The House of X Cyclops would have had would have possibly edged out the Dark Phoenix one just a little bit more because he's got Indomitable, which is now no longer a thing. But so yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.